let's start with the esophagus that we are very familiar with, okay? So that's the esophagus, and then we get to the stomach. Now I'm going to move to this stomach first and look at the outside, and then go back and look at the inside of the stomach. You have a dome-shaped area of the stomach. That's called a fundus. We'll see that the next time, F-U-N-D-U-S. Fundus is the dome-shaped area, and then, you know, your stomach starts to curve, and then you end up with this big curvature right here. This is called the greater curvature of the stomach, okay? And then on this other side of the stomach is considered the lesser curvature, okay? When we open the stomach, which is on this model, okay? The entrance of the stomach from the esophagus is called the cardia, without the C, cardia of the stomach, okay? And then, of course, this is the body of the stomach, okay? These foldings that you're looking at right here, they're called rugae, R-U-G-A-E. Rugae because they actually fold when your stomach is very empty, so you haven't eaten that much food. And then when you keep eating food and your stomach starts to expand, these are just foldings that actually start to straighten out, okay? So then it becomes a lot smoother, okay? And what they do is that they just allow for your stomach to be able to expand, to take that food without having to put too much pressure. You don't have too much air pressure in your stomach. So these foldings that you're looking at, the rugae, help a lot with that, okay? And then you get to what's called the pylorus part of the stomach, okay? And then this opening that goes to the first part of the small intestine, which is the duodenum, this little area, this is the sphincter, okay, that is elastic and that stretches. So food will then go and start in the small intestine, which is the duodenum. That's the first part of the small intestines. And then you get to the, you can't see them here, second part would then be the jejunum, okay? And then the third part would be the ileum. So my assumption is this is the third part of the small intestine, only because I can now see the beginning of the colon. So I'm assuming this is the ileum, but you can't tell from this structure, okay? So when you get to the large intestine, there's going to be a valve on there, so food doesn't back up. So it's called the ileocecal valve. So for that reason, the ileocecal valve is going to open and shut to allow for nutrients and food to come in through here, okay? And then you have a pouch that sits at the end of the small intestines and between small and large intestines that actually fold, and you'll be able to see it really well on a cat. That is where your cecum is, okay? So it actually sits, that's why you have an ileocecal valve, okay? Separates ileum and cecum, okay? And also gives you a point where the large intestines or the colon starts from the small intestine. And then you have your appendix, that's right there, okay? This would be the ascending colon, okay? And then crossing from right to left is the transverse colon. And then going down would be the descending colon, and then you get to the S-shaped sigmoid colon. After the sigmoid colon, then you go into the rectum and then the anus, okay? So this is your last part of opening of the tail end of your digestive system. Going back this way, your pancreas is going to be part of your mesentery that sits on the duodenum, okay? So it's going to be this leafy structure that you're looking at right there, okay? On the side of the duodenum, okay? Your liver is going to have right lobe, left lobe. On the back of it is going to be caudate lobe, and then there's the lobe, well, this is actually quadrate. This is quadrate lobe is a lobe that sits right next to the gallbladder, and then you have caudate lobe. So that's what you're going to use as your marker. The lobe that sits next to the gallbladder is going to be the quadrate lobe, and then the caudate lobe is away from it. Okay, so right, left, yes, it's down here. Okay, so next to the gallbladder is quadrate and then caudate, caudate, lobe, right, left. Okay.